a multidisciplinary approach, interdisciplinary approach, is what we need. Yes, we have our departments, but we must teach in an approach which is not silo, but multidisciplinary in approach. Integration is the language of the fourth industrial revolution. Why is integration not working? Sovereignty is the big issue. People emphasize national sovereignty. My country, my Nigeria, my Malawi, my little Zimbabwe. We must think about the continent. You know, just to challenge you, you know, you must say, I'm an African first. A citizen of SADC second, a South African third. I'm an African first. A citizen of ECOWAS second. A Ghanaian third. But you can't because you're so stuck to your national flag, national anthem, national basketball team, national soccer team, national. We are nationally wired as citizens and as leaders. So it's a constraint. You can't fully embrace integration unless you say the nation state is so yesterday. Regional integration is the way to go. The nation state is so yesterday. Continental integration is the way to go. And I told you the president, Muswati in Swaziland, who wants to be king. He's just renamed the country to Iswati. He's not ready to give up on national sovereignty. Ramaphosa has just gotten into power. He wants to enjoy his presidency before he becomes the minister of tourism for Africa. So they will talk it. They will talk, then they go back to the nation state. How many times have you heard them in parliament say, our SADC budget, our contribution to the AU, the Agenda 2063, they don't believe in regional integration. Nkrumah, what did Nkrumah say? Let's go back to Nkrumah. And I'll quote Nkrumah. We as Ghanaians are prepared to surrender our sovereignty in part or in total in pursuit of African unity. Close quote. In 1960, when they wrote their constitution. We are prepared to surrender our sovereignty in part or in total in pursuit of African unity. How many Africans can speak like that right now? We as South Africans are prepared to surrender our prosperity in part or in total in pursuit of African prosperity. Are you ready? Or you are chasing the other Africans out of South Africa? The visionaries of the 60s were thinking Africa. What else did Nkrumah say? The independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked to the independence of the rest of the African continent. Close quote. We must die a little so that South Africans can be free. We must die a little so that Rhodesia can be free. This man, Ben Bella from Algeria, was talking about dying for South Africa to be free, dying for Rhodesia to be free. We don't have men and women of that caliber anymore. We have midgets masquerading as leaders, intellectual midgets. It's very difficult to integrate unless the psychology of our leaders is the psychology of Pan-Africanism, of regional integration, and make sure that on balance, when we work together as Africans, the quality of life is going to improve. But there might be no president. It's okay. There might be no vice president. It's okay. The African will have a quality of life comparable to Japan, to the Americans, to Europe, and so on. But there's no such thing as a free lunch. There's a cost, there's a price to pay for regional integration. We must be prepared. Remember, die a little. That's a sacrifice. He's saying he's prepared to die. Ben Bella was saying, let's die a little. Nkrumah was saying, we are prepared to give up our sovereignty. He was saying his independence is meaningless. That's the language which is missing now, and that's why integration is tough. Source of funds, he or she who pays the paper calls the tune. You can't have the fourth industrial revolution or industrialization funded by the EU or funded by the British or the Americans. That's why I'm emphasizing pulling our resources together. So we fund our own projects. We fund our own infrastructure plans. We fund our own industrialization. The African can only industrialize against the interests of the West. Black man, black woman, you are on your own. Biko was right. So yes to donations, yes to aid, but it's unsustainable. We must fund our own activities using our gold, our platinum, our diamonds, but more importantly, when we pull them together, they'll be much more powerful and we can negotiate better. Another point raised by Professor Mbo. You go and negotiate as Kenya, as Zimbabwe, as Malawi. You get shortchanged. When you negotiate as COMESA, negotiate as the FTA area, negotiate as the African continent, you extract better deals from China, from India, from America. And then you can raise the resources to pay for your development. The aid and donations are not sustainable. Engineers, you see, the thought leaders, our engineers have not been thought leaders. You know, we've had great African scholars in history, in sociology, in literature. How many black Africans have gotten a Nobel Prize in physics, a Nobel Prize in chemistry, a Nobel Prize in medicine? But we've gotten one for peace, which is all right. We got peace, we got literature, we got work to do as scientists, as medical doctors, as engineers. We have not discovered things like Bill Gates, like Steve Jobs. So the African thought leader is under pressure. We want to see the African engineer thought leader. And it's a lot of work because we need to be decolonized. Don't assume that as engineers we can't invent things. We can't win Nobel Prizes in sciences. But that will require us to do that. Decolonization cannot be done. Decolonization cannot be done by universities alone. It has to be a national program. The country must embrace decolonization. Because if you decolonize in the university, you go to industry, they're talking the old stuff. They're using the old standards. So decolonization must be a national program.